look at both the costs and numbers of people dead, that's a metric. And if you look at the cost to the economy, that's a metric. And I heard
esteem great men, people become powerless. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. The master leads by emptying people's minds and filling their cores, by weakening their ambition and toughening their resolve. He helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire, and creates confusion in those who think that they know. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. 4. The Tao is like a well, used but never used up. It is like the eternal void, filled with infinite possibilities. It is hidden but always present. I don't know who gave birth to it. It is older than God. 5. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. 6. The Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty, yet inexhaustible, it gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. 7. The Tao is infinite, eternal. Why is it eternal? It was never born, thus it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself, thus it is present for all beings. The Master stays behind, that is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things, that is why she is one with them. Because she has let go of herself.
Scott, how did you think I did on the Gary Baumgarten show? Did I bring information, good info? I thought I did a pretty good job.
She is perfectly fulfilled. 8. The supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain.
Hell no.
Thus, it is like the Tao.
No. Hey, yo, John. Nobody give a fuck with you.
Move close to the ground.
Nobody cares, John.
In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. 9. Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will blunt. Chase after money and security, and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. 10. Can you coax your mind from its wandering and keep to the original oneness? Can you let your body become supple as a newborn child's? Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? Can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? Can you step back from your own mind and thus understand all things? Giving birth and nourishing, having without possessing, acting with no expectations, leading and not trying to control. This is the supreme virtue. 11. We join spokes together in a wheel, but it is the center whole that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it is the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. 12. Colors blind the eye. Sounds deafen the ear. Flavors numb the taste. Thoughts weaken the mind. Desires wither the heart. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. His heart is open as the sky. 13. Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms that arise from thinking of the self. When we don't see the self as self, what do we have to fear? See the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you can care for all things. 14. Look, and it can't be seen. Listen, and it can't be heard. Reach, and it can't be grasped. Above, it isn't bright. Below, it isn't dark. Seamless, unnameable, it returns to the realm of nothing. Form that includes all forms. Image without an image. Subtle, beyond all conception. Approach it, and there is no beginning. Follow it, and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it. At ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom. 15. The ancient masters were profound and subtle. Their wisdom was unfathomable. There is no way to describe it. All we can describe is their appearance. They were careful as someone crossing an iced-over stream, alert as a warrior in enemy territory, courteous as a guest, fluid as melting ice, shapeable as a block of wood, receptive as a valley, clear as a glass of water. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? The master doesn't seek fulfillment. Not seeking, not expecting, present and can welcome all things. 16. Empty your mind of all thoughts. Let your heart be at peace. Watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. Each separate being in the universe returns to the common source. Returning to the source is serenity. If you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. When you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. Immersed in the wonder of the Tao, you can deal with whatever life brings you. And when death comes, you are ready. 17. When the Master governs, the people are hardly aware that he exists. Next best is a leader who is loved. Next, one who is feared. The worst is one who is despised. If you don't trust the people, you make them untrustworthy. The Master doesn't talk, he acts. When his work is done, the people say, "Amazing, we did it, all by ourselves." 18. When the great Tao is forgotten, goodness and piety appear. When the body's intelligence declines, cleverness and knowledge step forth. When there is no peace in the family, filial piety begins. When the country falls into chaos, patriotism is born. 19. Throw away holiness and wisdom, and people will be 100 times happier. Throw away morality and justice, and people will do the right thing. Throw away industry and profit, and there won't be any thieves. If these three aren't enough, just stay at the center of the circle and let all things take their course. 20. Stop thinking and end your problems. What difference between yes and no? What difference between success and failure? Must you value what others value, avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous. Other people are excited, as though they were at a parade. I alone don't care. I alone am expressionless, like an infant before it can smile. Other people have what they need. I alone possess nothing. I alone drift about, like someone without a home. I am like an idiot, my mind is so empty. Other people are bright. I alone am dark. Other people are sharp. I alone am dull. Other people have a purpose. I alone don't know. I drift like a wave on the ocean. I blow as aimless as the wind. I am different from ordinary people. I drink from the Great Mother's breasts. 21. The Master keeps her mind always at one with the Tao. That is what gives her her radiance. The Tao is ungraspable. How can her mind be at one with it? Because she doesn't cling to ideas. The Tao is dark and unfathomable. How can it make her radiant? Because she lets it. Since before time and space were, the Tao is. It is beyond is and is not. How do I know this is true? I look inside myself and see. 22. If you want to become whole, let yourself be partial. If you want to become straight, let yourself be crooked. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to be reborn, let yourself die. If you want to be given everything, give everything up. The Master, by residing in the Tao, sets an example for all beings. Because he doesn't display himself, people can see his light. Because he has nothing to prove, people can trust his words. Because he doesn't know who he is, people recognize themselves in him. Because he has no goal in mind, everything he does succeeds. When the ancient masters said, if you want to be given everything, give everything up, they weren't using empty phrases. Only in being lived by the Tao can you be truly yourself. 23. Express yourself completely, then keep quiet. Be like the forces of nature. When it blows, there is only wind. When it rains, there is only rain. When the clouds pass, the sun shines through. If you open yourself to the Tao, you are at one with the Tao, and you can embody it completely. If you open yourself to insight, you are at one with insight, and you can use it completely. If you open yourself to loss, you are at one with loss, and you can accept it completely. Open yourself to the Tao, then trust your natural responses, and everything will fall into place. 24. He who stands on tiptoe doesn't stand firm. He who rushes ahead doesn't go far. He who tries to shine dims his own light. He who defines himself can't know who he really is. He who has power over others can't empower himself. He who clings to his work will create nothing that endures. If you want to accord with the Tao, just do your job, then let go. 25. There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, eternally present. It is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it the Tao. It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. The Tao is great. The universe is great. Earth is great. Man is great. These are the four great powers. Man follows the earth. Earth follows the universe. The universe follows the Tao. The Tao follows only itself. 26. The heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all movement. Thus the master travels all day without leaving home. However splendid the views, she stays serenely in herself. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. If you let restlessness move you, you lose touch with who you are. 27. A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent upon arriving. A good artist lets his intuition lead him wherever it wants. A good scientist has freed himself of concepts and keeps his mind open to what is. Thus the master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying the light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If you don't understand this, you will get lost, however intelligent you are. It is the great secret. 28. Know the male, yet keep to the female. Receive the world in your arms. If you receive the world, the Tao will never leave you, and you will be like a little child. Know the white, yet keep to the black. Be a pattern for the world. If you are a pattern for the world, the Tao will be strong inside you, and there will be nothing you can't do. Know the personal, yet keep to the impersonal. Accept the world as it is. If you accept the world, the Tao will be luminous inside you, and you will return to your primal self. The world is formed from the void, like utensils from a block of wood. The master knows the utensils, yet keeps to the block. Thus she can use all things. 29. Do you want to improve the world? I don't think it can be done. The world is sacred. It can't be improved. If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it. If you treat it like an object, you'll lose it. There's a time for being ahead, a time for being behind, a time for being in motion, a time for being at rest, a time for being vigorous, a time for being exhausted, a time for being safe, a time for being in danger. The Master sees things as they are, without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way, and resides at the center of the circle. 30. Whoever relies on the Tao in governing men doesn't try to force issues or defeat enemies by force of arms. For every force, there is a counterforce. Violence, even well-intentioned, always rebounds upon oneself. The Master does his job and then stops. He understands that the universe is forever out of control, and that trying to dominate events goes against the current of the Tao. Because he believes in himself, he doesn't try to convince others. Because he is content with himself, he doesn't need others' approval. Because he accepts himself, the whole world accepts him. 31. Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent men detest them. Weapons are the tools of fear. A decent man will avoid them, except in the direst necessity. And if compelled, will use them only with the utmost restraint. Peace is his highest value. If the peace has been shattered, how can he be content? His enemies are not demons, but human beings like himself. He doesn't wish them personal harm, nor does he rejoice in victory. How could he rejoice in victory and delight in the slaughter of men? He enters a battle gravely, with sorrow, and with great compassion, as if he were attending a funeral. 32. The Tao can't be perceived. Smaller than an electron, it contains uncountable galaxies. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. The world would become a paradise.
It's like a projection of it.
All people would be at peace, and the law would be written in their hearts. When you have names and forms, know that they are provisional.
I'm just
When you have institutions,
why do you
know
say
where
that?
their functions should end.
Well, I have evidence.
Knowing when to stop,
I've only been out here 2 days.
you can avoid
The guy
it.
who's gonna agree there, I was
None
trying
of
to
us like Buttercup. None of us here like Mikhail. If he's lying about his identity, we'd be happy to agree with you. But you're just like shooting from the hip. Why do you say this?
So it's interesting because I had an argument with him earlier before I realized he's full of shit about Hamas and whether Hamas, he thinks it's been successful. The October 7 the violence resistance has been effective and it's really working. And he claims he has immediate family on the ground. And when I asked him about it, when he got here, he claims he got here in 2012. He has a perfect American accent, so that's suspicious. So I asked him about his family. He said, yes, lots of them have died. Some of them are starving. And he's talking about how they love suffering for the Palestinian cause. And that is not, I haven't met a single Palestinian on the ground that's suffering and starving that's saying they love suffering for the Palestinian state. That's not what they're thinking about. All they do is curse out the Hamas regime that put them in this situation. And I know you guys want to believe it because it's convenient for your narrative.
No, there's actually people that have called in and came in Amos's room. That came in Amos's room. We're live in Gaza.
Buttercup, you do realize that is just like stereotyping what you're saying. You're saying, I've spoken with Gazans, they don't talk with Mikhail, therefore Mikhail is not from Gaza.
I also have a lot of friends who are people like that.
Not true. What you're saying?
Yeah, you're stereotyping. You're saying the Gazans have
But
to
he's
act
a rare,
I experienced Gaza
so he-
to act. Mikhail can't be an asshole from Gaza because I've met people from Gaza and they're not assholes like Mikhail.
he didn't even express any heartbreak over his dead fucking family. Like, like, that's not realistic,
You
I'm
are
sorry.
not one to
But also-
determine, you are not one to determine what kind of heartbreak anybody expresses over
Buttercup,
any
seriously,
absolute
another
family.
swing.
Who the fuck are you? Seriously,
I know
Buttercup,
you're
stay the fuck in your lane, shut the fuck up. I'm not in the mood for the bullshit and the gaslighting and the nonsense. I've been off this app for fucking months and I gotta come back to hear Miss fucking holier than thou start dictating who's a Palestinian and who's not because of a fucking accent? Yo habla español y yo parlo italiano también. But I speak perfect fucking English, so is my background not Moroccan and fucking Italian now, according to you? Exactly.
Are you patronizing people that speak English and other languages, Buttercup?
Well, I also know someone else who knows him on this app and found out that his clothing is not Palestinian.
Okay, see, that would be evidence. That would be contributing to the conversation rather than playing coy and pretending you're some genius based on accents.
Why is everyone talking you nice? It's all wrong in this room.
Just accusing
Listen,
things.
I was on.
Why don't you just bring
I'm fighting a Hamas second word
No, I think the problem is, sorry,
Learn to
Mixed.
have a fucking conversation. You want to argue something is true and then present no evidence for it? Let's
So,
just talk.
I'm also trying to fight
Listen, Buttercup, hold on 1 second. So I think the reason why Mixed pointed that out is because every time somebody brings you evidence, you're like, no, it's impossible, they're not from Gaza. No, it's impossible, they're not starving. No, it's impossible, they're
No,
not.
I
know somebody
talked to him
like
today and figured out that he's not from Gaza. He made it up.
How did you figure that out?
Prove it
You
now.
made that up. Prove that.
I
It's
collaborated with a friend of mine.
Your evidence.
I
But that is no evidence. Speaking out of
You guys don't want to hear facts.
She hasn't
No.
presented
let Nikki, let her speak.
access to locations in years when she's saying, I know someone that actually spoke with him and proved that he's actually from Lebanon. Please, present it.
I feel under attack right now. I'm good.
Don't feel like
Yes,
you're
you're under
attacked.
attack. Please present your evidence. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Okay, listen, Snowflake, about I feel under attack.
So stupid.
Put on your big girl
You don't know how to have a
and
conversation.
start
Present
fucking defending your
your
bullshit.
actual
But I
language.
think
You guys are not
you're
being, you're not
I
so
don't
sorry.
care.
You're on
you're a
Clubhouse.
Palestinian. I think you're actually a AI program. You're not really a human being.
No.
Like, where do you get off?
Who's that? Make that? Okay. Listen, I'll talk to you guys when
Okay,
you
no, I can talk to you normally. No, hold on. Buttercup. So, my question is,
All the contributions you can make about a clear anti-Semitic asshole like Mikhail, you can shoot.
No, hold on.
He's not from Gaza.
I find that you're always trying to make an excuse to see the actual picture.
I mean,
Like the excuse right now is, and so if the interesting part, I didn't give you context to that room, is full of Pally supporters and 3 people that claim they're from Palestine, Gaza, and Palestine, okay?
Yeah,
So,
the
3 of them.
Mikhail.
Exactly. So then they're all